In today's video, I'm going to share with you a $3 billion e-commerce trend that is absolutely booming and some of the implications and also ideas on how you can take advantage of this. Now, what I'm talking about is the nano hydroxyapatite trend. Now, this sounds like some big jargon, and it kind of is. But what this does, let me read it to you. What it is actually is a synthetic form of hydroxyapatite, which is a naturally occurring mineral found in human teeth and bones, but engineered at the nanoscopic level for enhanced performance. Hopefully, I haven't lost you yet, but I want to actually bring all of that science down to something practical and show you a brand that is absolutely crushing this booming niche trend. They were early adopters of this, and it's called Boca. Now, they sell toothpaste. They sell all kinds of toothpaste on subscriptions, and they have beautiful branding. They absolutely crush Amazon, and their direct-to-consumer side of things on Shopify is also quite good. In fact, they're driving about 200,000 monthly visitors every single month as we speak. Now, interestingly enough, one thing to highlight from this brand that you can also take away for your potential brand is that they're driving traffic from all over the world. It's not just from the United States, although the United States does make up the majority of their traffic, over 60% of it, in fact. Now, another interesting thing to note about this brand is the fact that they have really low priced products because it's literally toothpaste, right? People are not going to spend a whole lot of money on toothpaste, which makes it a challenging niche for direct to consumer. If you don't know, a lot of times when you have a very low average order value, it's going to make it very hard to advertise your company because it's going to be unprofitable. But how you mitigate that is by offering subscriptions or by having more products on your store so that when you do acquire a customer, right, you can sell them things over and over again, therefore increasing the lifetime value of that customer. You don't have to spend any more money to acquire that customer. You only acquire that customer once. And that's one of the reasons why subscriptions are so powerful in the world of e-commerce. Of course, in the world of software, for example, subscriptions are a standard, and that's what makes those businesses so appealing. But in e-commerce, that's not the case necessarily, although it's slowly becoming the case for products that are consumable. Now, their landing page, let's break this down, right? It's actually quite simple. So they don't really have anything too special going on. It's kind of surprising, right? Because this brand does over $50 million in revenue. They've raised the seed round back in 2015, so this is not a new brand. They've been around for over a decade, which is a good, I mean, it's kind of humbling, right? It's good to see that because when we see a lot of these stores that are completely popping off, you think that it's an overnight success, especially when you look at a trend like this, right? But the reality is that it took a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears for them to get to this point. And actually, some people estimate this to be between 100 million and 500 million. I believe they were acquired a couple years ago. Either way, they're absolutely blowing up, and I think the future is very bright for this company, actually. So if we want to take a look a little bit further here, I want to dive into their landing page because, as I mentioned, it's quite simple. Anybody could set something like this up on Shopify. And by the way, Shopify is running some pretty amazing deals, right? $1 a month for 3 months with the link in the description. Pretty incredible. You could literally start your business for pennies, well, dollars. But ultimately, this is a super simple landing page that anybody could replicate. So very simple layout, literally not special at all. Some really nice product images. You know, they have a lot of text on some of them. Not all of them, not the first ones, which is good because then it ranks well on Google. But on some of the ones where people scroll to, they do have more information about the product and the science. And then simply a lot of UGC content here. Funny enough, they're actually linking their YouTube shorts on here, which is not something you see often. So this brand is taking advantage of YouTube shorts, which I also believe is a great idea for a lot of businesses that are not doing that, which is pretty funny because YouTube shorts is a great ad placement, believe it or not. Now, one thing that you guys always ask me, some of you that have been following the channel for a while, when I make these videos, you're wondering, Ari, how can I start something like this, right? And of course, I showed you Shopify. That's the first step. You have to have, an online storefront for your business. However, the sourcing side of it is where it gets a little bit tricky. But I want to share with you a really cool tool. It's an AI agent for sourcing, and this is actually an Alibaba product. So I usually show you guys Alibaba because that's where you can find basically any supplier for anything. But the problem with Alibaba is that it's just difficult to manage all of those conversations, all of those steps to source something. So with Axio, what you can do is, let's say I want to build a nano hydroxy appetite brand for toothpaste. I want the branding to be modern and minimal, but still appeal to Gen Z, for example. And let's actually see what happens here. It'll start thinking. It's pretty much ChatGPT for sourcing, which is incredible, right? I mean, this is going to save us so much time. So it's giving us a full report. Like, it's literally pulling from every single source imaginable, right? Reddit, the campus agency, all these different news sources that are actually really relevant. A lot of people undervalue Reddit for some reason. But let's see. Let's actually read this report real quick. So Gen Z branding strategy in 2025, authenticity and transparency, omnichannel, agility. Ooh, so engage Gen Z across platforms like TikTok. Oh no, what happened here? Let me go back. Oh, let me go forward. I clicked too much. I don't know what happened here. So let's see. To address the user's query about enhancing omnichannel, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I actually did not mean to do that. Let's actually read over here. To assist you with building an nano-hydroxyapatite brand for toothpaste with a modern and minimal design that appeals to Gen Z, I will gather more information on current branding trends and strategies that resonate with this demographic. So it did some business research. Let's view the details. Perfect. So modern minimalist principle. Minimalism in 2025 focuses on clarity, functionality, and emotional resonance. Visual elements, negative space, guides the attention to key messages like Apple's website. Muted color palettes, neutral tones with subtle accents, enhance calmness. Typography first layout, bold fonts convey personality without visual clutter. So this is actually a really, really interesting graph here, showing us that mobile first is a priority for Gen Z, but this is actually a priority for everybody because everybody's browsing on their phone. So, it gives us everything we need, right? It gives us literally everything we need in our packaging and visual identity, which is amazing. So now let's say, find me manufacturers for this, and it'll start thinking, could you please specify the product? Oh, the product you're looking for, could you please? Okay, let's just go back and let's say, boom, and we'll paste this here. I will search for manufacturers of nano hydroxyapatite toothpaste brands for you. Please hold for a moment while I gather the information. And here we go. So it's successfully found manufacturers for this. Wow, literally all the manufacturers that we may possibly want to use. Now let me show you one last feature here before we move on, just so you understand like the power of this. You can also do agent mode, right? Now what this allows you to do is basically it will handle everything. So I can say message the top rated suppliers and ask for samples. So let's see what this can do. So agent mode is on and it's gonna go crazy here. I actually did log in through my Alibaba account. So inquiry for nano hydroxyapatite toothpaste samples, identify top rated samples, draft professional inquiry email requesting samples, format and send the inquiry email to selected suppliers. It's gonna be ready in a few minutes. I don't want to go through this whole process because this video is going to get extremely lengthy, but just wanted to showcase this to you so you can get additional value and so we can answer that question once and for all of how do you actually build something in this space. But let's proceed to some other comments here because I really think one of the best ways to build a winning brand, and this is what we consult on for a lot of our clients in the accelerator here for Shopee Lab, some of whom have reached 30K days within their first 3 months of launching their business. It's pretty incredible. So one of those things is looking at negative comments, right? If we actually look at negative comments, not to hate on brands, right? But to understand where there's gaps and where you can actually solve those gaps, right? So for example, here, people have concerns about product safety due to lead and mercury reports. That's kind of bad. That's not good. So maybe we can make marketing material, maybe organic marketing, so we don't have to spend money on testing this. We can just test it for free. Talking about, safety, talking about more safety. Disappointing customer service, classic. Concerns about product causing teeth sensitivity. So that's a big one for people. They want to know that this is not going to make their teeth more sensitive. Yeah, safety and toxicity. Yeah, concerns about harmful ingredients. That's like the biggest thing right now for them. So that tells us, well, you know what? We got to make our marketing very much cater towards making people feel safe, because this is clearly a huge concern for people. Now, if we actually look at their marketing now, because this is the next step, right? So we have Shopify on, we got it for a great deal. We have some samples sourced. We got our AI agent here that's just ready to source anything for us, literally, and build a brand pretty much. You can also, by the way, create just samples, right, of your product in without even having the product, right? You could create the brand image with everything that we just went through over here with Axio, and test the product without having it, right? Get some testing going on Meta, or again, organically if you want. You could even do a pre-order, right? Kind of like Kickstarter or Indiegogo. And ultimately, let's actually just look at some of their video ads here so we can get some inspiration on how you could promote this brand. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, if you were launching a brand like this, right? Or for your brand, for your existing brand, let's see. So they're running a lot of statics, first and foremost. So they got your brightest smile yet. I mean, I can't really read that, but that's a big headline. Your brightest smile yet. That's a good one. People really care about their smile. Back to school kit. So they're running back to school statics. These are offer statics. These are very powerful. So static images work extremely well on Meta for offers, for retargeting. And most brands actually don't even run these. It's pretty crazy. They're really easy to make and can make a huge impact in your campaigns, right? These are like middle and bottom of the funnel ads that you want to sprinkle into your campaigns to ensure that Meta has the right amount of creatives, the right diversity, scarcity, in order to get you the best CPAs. And they're actually running a lot of these. But let's take a look at one of these videos here.
If you're not,
I want to look at this one. I got my headphones over here, but I'm actually going to mute it because I've gotten copyright striked from some of these videos that we've watched before. So let's see. So she's just brushing her teeth, and that's pretty much it. And she's talking, mentioning some things. There's no captions though, so I have no idea what she's saying. But it's just like a very classic UGC video. I'm actually kind of shocked that this is working for them because it's just so simple. These guys need to get on TikTok Shop. They might be on TikTok
you're
Shop.
not
I don't know. Let's see.
using this, then that's the reason you still don't have whiter teeth. Boca is a toothpaste that swapped the fluoride for
If you're not using this, then that's the reason why you still don't have white teeth. That's a good hook, actually. I like that.
hydroxyapatite, which, if you didn't know, makes up 97% of your tooth enamel. They also swapped the peroxide for baking soda and coconut oil, which is how it whitens without making them sensitive. It's non-toxic and fluoride-free. Like, this toothpaste is...
This is what's kind of interesting, is that they actually do mention a lot of those concerns that people are commenting about, but it's just the fact that people are not responding. They're not responding to these comments, that people just have these fears. But in a lot of their ads, they actually do address some of those common objections. And that's why, you got to get Smart Reply or contact our team at Ecommerce to set up an AI agent for you to do this. It's literally the easiest way to get more out of your ads. You can save costs on payroll, get lower CPMs, and more sales. It's such a no-brainer solution. So DM me if you want help setting that up. I'm happy to have my team implement it for you, train it, do a deep research report on your brand, and train the AI on that. But let's take a look at another one here. This one's 9 seconds long. This one for sure has copyrighted music. I can feel it. So let's see. That was a pretty interesting hook. So boom. And then she's eating a cucumber. Ooh, I like this. This is pretty cool, actually. This is like a very good mix of like a high production value ad, very entertaining, very quick, and aesthetic, on brand, but also kind of native feeling. I feel like she's recorded this on an iPhone, right? So it doesn't feel like super high production value, but it's just shot very well. This is cool. I actually like this ad a lot. Let's look at this one. This one does have captions, and it's also 8 seconds long. I spent about 80% of my time talking about Boca's peroxide-free Bright Boost Whitening Powder, making my teeth brighter and whiter. And the other 20% of the time praying for someone else to bring it up so I can talk about it more. Interesting. I'm surprised that's a viral format. But hey, you got to test everything. You just never know what's going to work. But the beautiful thing about the current landscape for digital marketing, right, and social media marketing is that even if you, let's say you started this brand, right, and you don't have money for ad spend, or you just want to be very conservative with how much you're spending, you can just literally make videos like this, right? And post them organically across a variety of pages. You can post them on your main brand page, or you can make a second page that's dedicated to posting spam about your product, right? So you can test so many product iterations or ad iterations for your product for literally free. And AI is just making this all so much easier than before. And ultimately, that's why I wanted to share this video with you. I think this is an incredible trend that is just booming, and it's expected to reach over $3.9 billion of market size, which is ridiculous. And it's something that perhaps you've actually never heard of. So that's the point of this channel. I want to introduce you to new ideas and hopefully help more people succeed with Shopify, help more people start businesses or just get inspired. And ideally, if you do start one of these awesome businesses, I can invest in it and help you in one way or another, whether it's just with capital or whether it's through just my advice from analyzing thousands of these stores. I feel like I have a large language model in here for Shopify businesses, which is pretty cool. But now software as well. This is my software, Shopee Lab. It's pretty cool. And we have an accelerator on top of it, which has been very successful. A lot of people have been getting incredible results in there. But a lot of tools we covered today. Axio is certainly one that you need to keep an eye out for. It's an Alibaba company, which is pretty cool. That also kind of makes me want to buy Alibaba stock because a lot of people are not paying attention to this, which is pretty interesting. I mean, they have like a whole large language model for sourcing specifically with an AI agent integrated into it so that it can handle the whole manufacturing and sourcing process. It's pretty incredible, actually. What a time to be alive. But with that said, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions, concerns, comments. Follow for more, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.